Yeah, Neville, welcome to Indy. I know it's early, very early in the process, but what's your impressions of Indy's like defensive line and how you fit in with what you see is already here?
Obviously, they got a great D-line group. They got the veteran guys leading the front, with DeForest Buckner and Grove Stewart. And I was just happy for the opportunity that I got to be a part of something special. I feel like Indianapolis is a great place. There's a great coaching staff, and they got guys that want to win. And I felt like this would be a great fit for me to contribute and obviously make an impact as well.
One other follow-up. When you look at what they've done already in free agency with the defensive line with yourself, but on the back end, bringing in two starters at corner and safety, that's got to help the defensive line.
Absolutely, and I feel like, they all tie together. But I know the job as a defensive line is to make the job easier for everyone that's playing behind us. So I feel like with those additions, it allow everyone, us up front as a whole to play a lot faster. So we're looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Jake, Arthur?
So in this defensive front, you've kind of got the nose tackle size, but with the three tech athleticism and explosion, have they expressed to you kind of what role they envision you playing?
Um, obviously it's still fresh, but I imagine that they'll find the best fit, the best way to utilize me here. But again, I'm just happy to be here, and I'm happy to just take advantage of the opportunity that they're going to give me to compete, and that's what I'm here. I'm here to compete and to contribute.
Thanks.
James?
This might be a dumb question, but how do you pronounce your first name? I want to make sure we get that right.
Neville.
Neville. Okay, so Neville, not Neville. Okay, so
No, no, yeah, Neville. Yeah,
yeah, just making sure.
yes, sir.
That's why I asked. And then also, looking at the success you had in the playoffs last year with the Rams, why do you think that was, and what was it about that D line that maybe you can carry over to this one you're joining now, as far as your own individual performance?
Just in terms of just understanding, knowing when my opportunities present itself, but ultimately, sometimes, your job is to, you do what's asked of you, and sometimes you got to be a jack of all trades. And I feel like what I brought in the playoffs, I'm looking to expand on that, and to bring that coming out through the start of the season and to carry it forward. I was given an opportunity to contribute and make impactful plays, and that's what I'm looking forward to do here. But obviously, main thing is I'm looking forward is to help with already solid D line. I'm coming here to make this D line better, make this team better, and obviously just to add to what they've already built.
One quick follow-up. I know you mentioned the jack of all trades. So I guess how would you describe your game for those who may be unfamiliar, like the new fan base and things?
Right. Obviously I'm an interior D lineman, but I'm a guy that in the past I've been put in a position like put in a situation where I have to play all sides well all positions on the defensive line, whether it's 5, 4 eye, 3, 2 eye nose, and I feel like I'm a guy where anything that you ask of me, I'm going to try my best to do that to the best of my abilities. And, obviously here, they already have a dominant interior. They really have a dominant defensive line group as a whole. So I'm just looking forward to the opportunity to come out here, take the coaching and use what's being taught to me to take my game to the next level.
Thank you.
Joel?
Which spot are you most comfortable in?
Right? Again, doesn't really matter to me. Three tech, nose, again, wherever I'm being asked to, that'll be my new comfortable spot. And I feel like at this level, at this point, you got to be ready. If coach needs you to be somewhere, you got to be able to perform. So I feel like that's kind of the biggest asset. If coach, wherever the coaches need me to be at, I'm gonna do my best to make sure I'm prepared and play to the best of my abilities according to what's needed to me. Needed.
What do you think you played more of in your career?
Definitely more three. Just in terms of that question, I feel like I've been asked probably to play more three. Definitely this is definitely playing the 2 eye. Knows if need be, but yeah. If you ask me that, probably more snaps at the three.
One last one, just from me. I'm just curious about your background. So You've been at this for a while in the NFL. How would
Right.
you describe the journey to get here? Having parents from Jamaica, then growing up in Canada, getting drafted in the CFL as well, and then now you look up and it's like, man, you're kind of a veteran in the best league in the world.
Right. It's all God first and foremost. I gotta give all the glory to Him. But it was just the want to. I felt like this was an opportunity. I always looked at this game as something that I was passionate about, something that I love, and something that I always feel like that my best football is was still and it's still ahead of me. And I feel like this game is giving me an opportunity to express that. It's obviously provided me um, with it's brought me to places that I never thought I could have been. And obviously, I got two Jamaican parents. Both my brothers born and raised in Jamaica. Obviously, the journey it wasn't slight, but it was meaningful. So I feel like this kind of added to that. And I'm really just grateful, man. It's been a part of the journey, but it's not the end of the journey. Sure.
Jake?
Yeah, so you've got some playoff experience at this point in your career. The Colts were very intentional about adding, some guys with that experience as well as competition overall to the roster. From those teams you've been on, what would you identify as like some non-negotiables that the team has to have in order to get into the postseason?
The things that I've just through my experience, obviously it's the want to, it's the effort, and it's the camaraderie. I feel like the teams that have always um been able to to play past the regular season, there's been a connectivity amongst players and coaches. I feel like that always has to carry over, but it always starts with the guys in that room. And I feel like this team, this group, especially D-line, they have a great team, great players, and I feel like it's always something as simple, play game away. And I feel like, this is the year where we can put everything together. I feel like we got all the pieces. The Indianapolis Colts, the history, the culture here it's always been great. It's always been amazing, and I feel like that's just probably what it takes. Sorry, I feel like that's just what's gonna. Uh, pardon me. I feel like that's what it's going to take for us to, to carry over that connectivity, everybody being on the same page, everybody wanting and demanding the same thing. I feel like that's going to pay dividends.